What is a tradition in your country that makes no sense to the rest of the world? Mummering, a Christmas tradition where groups dress up in costume and go from house to party, drink and dance until the homie winners guess who you are. Not sure letting a bunch of disguised drunk people into your kitchen to dance would work anywhere besides a small town. This is called the Wren in Ireland, but it's dying out. I live in Ireland and have to deny this. This is called a Friday. True. But on St. Stephen's Day it's the Wren. We have a black pudding throwing festival in the village once a year. They erect scaffolding in the main road through town and put some big but Yorkshire puddings on top of the scaffold. You pay a quid and get 3 black puddings to throw up and knock off as many as you can. It is pretty weird. Eki thump. Isn't that a Lancashire martial art? The ancient art of Eki thump founded by the holy Ee by gum. Here in the Netherlands, when someone celebrates their birthday, we congratulate everyone that is present at the party. Let us say it is John's birthday party. People arriving at the party will congratulate everyone in the room by saying congratulations on John's birthday, or just congratulations Jeff felicitated. Congratulations for keeping John alive for another year. Congratulations for not poisoning John's cake, Albert. Can you imagine being Guy Fawkes' ghost and watching every year people celebrating your death with fireworks and amusements? He wasn't actually executed until the following January. It must have been a shitty couple of months for him. He was tortured until he could not even write his name. I've heard that he was apparently dead before he was executed. He apparently died after falling down some stairs and breaking his neck because he was so weak after torture. Somewhat of a misunderstanding there. Fawkes is recorded as being alive and giving last words at his execution. His sentence was hanging, drawing and quartering. What is known is that in a state weakened from torture he struggled to climb the ladder to the gallows. Then perhaps deliberately, when he was turned off the ladder, or by jumping, his neck was broken by his noose, thus avoiding being alive for the disembowelment part of his sentence, unlike his correctional officer conspirators. Throwing ground cinnamon at unmarried people when they turn 25. Wait, I need more details. Why? What does the cinnamon do? It is a fairly new tradition from within the last 50 years or so. Some people think it is derived from an older tradition where you buy pepper for a man if he is unmarried at 30. I'm unmarried past 30. You wanna give me some peppercorns? I'm in. I will use that shit in my awesome dishes I cook for me and my dog. Sauna. Not the existence of it, but just how common it is. I mean, I live a pretty slummy neighborhood paying dirt cheap rent, and even I have free sauna access included with my flat. Finland, where the national pastime is going inside to warm up. But we do not deserve it. So after we will hit ourselves with a bundle of sticks to pay penance. It is a bit more like boiling yourself until you cannot breathe than warming up. Oktoberfest, the real one, in Munich. I mean, everybody gets it. It's about drinking a crap ton of beer for a month in Lederhosen. But most don't know that it is an annual celebration of the wedding of a prince long dead, of a country that doesn't exist anymore. Bavarians like to make their parties organized and scheduled. I went to Munich for Oktoberfest one year, did not know too much about it at the time. And when we arrived at 5 PM we saw a guy being dragged out between 2 of his friends. Could not even lift his legs. That's when I knew I better buckle up. It was a blast. And, unbeknownst to us, we accidentally snuck into the seating outside a beer hall. We just walked in the exit as we found out later and sat down. After about 20 minutes we noticed the line of people waiting to get in. Whoops. By then we already had our beer and nobody had seemed to notice. So we kept rejoicing with our newfound friends that we just met. Definitely on my list to redo once things settle down. You didn't necessarily do anything wrong. There are reserved tables, and it is possible those people were waiting for this to free up. It is also just as possible that when you arrived, there was space in the tent or in the garden, and they let you in, only to close it up after you were inside. This happens all the time. Since paying for a reservation is basically impossible, due to long waiting lists and shitty scalpers who want thousands for their ticket, it is best to go with a small group. 2 is best, And be flexible and friendly. Go early and plan to stay all day. Or go on Monday or Wednesday night. A low-key lunch during the week is also nice. And you're more likely to meet nice locals instead of blasted tourists in plastic traditional clothes they bought at the airport. I've been to Oktoberfest 3 times. Always have a great time and people are super friendly. Last time I went we went into a tent and immediately noticed the atmosphere was completely different to any others we'd been to. People were much more formally dressed. It wasn't as loud and it wasn't friendly at all. People barely made eye contact with us. Looked the name up in the guide and found the tent was traditionally for Bavarian aristocrats. Does that sound accurate? Buying a sausage in a hot dog bun single slice of bread from the parking lot of a tools and hardware store chain on a Saturday. Our Bunnings. Had to Google. Australia. Have this in the US. Too. Although the single piece of bread as bun I've ever seen outside of my house. Sausage sizzle. White bread only. None of those duck in seeds and shit. Say yes to the onions. Only exceptions are kids. 3 snags per hand and a can of Coke. Old ladies spitting on beautiful young women that they are keen of. We have a tradition in which it is believed that some person can be bewitched by a bad eye in case someone looks at you with bad or jealous intentions. This happens especially if you are beautiful, young, handsome, successful, etc. If someone looks at you like that, you can catch the bad eye and then have a lot of bad luck. If you catch the bad eye, there are rituals that can be performed to remove the bad eye. These are typically performed by old ladies or old men. They have to say a few secret words while looking at you and mixing oil and water. The oil catches the bad eye in the water as it forms the shape of an eye. The secret words are passed down from males to females and from females to males, but not through the same gender. To prevent catching the bad eye, there are a few methods. Either you can carry an eye jewelry with you, literally a blue circle in the form of an eye, or someone can spit on you. They believe if you are spat on, the bad eye sees the spit and does not think you are beautiful anymore. So if you are a young girl and you go to your grandma, they may say something, "Oh my god, you look so beautiful," and then spit on you. Of course they do not literally spit. They just pretend to spit. Greece. Laughing. Same in Romania. It is also common for people to always have their newborns babies wear something red, as that should also prevent being bewitched by the bad eye. Not my country, but my sister is over in Barcelona, Catalonia. Every year around Christmas the kids feed an inanimate log of wood, and then after a certain amount of days, once it's full, they beat it with sticks until it shits out presents. I mean, it is more plausible than Santa, I guess, but what the duck. It is basically a Christmas pinata, but with added violence from what I understand. Well, I would say that he actually ends up in a better state than any pinata. The one in my family has been happily in service for more than 40 years. He is part of the family. It just gets hit a bit on the back and not disemboweled and shredded like any pinata. It also gets fed tangerines and a bit of sweet wine for its troubles. Watering women on Easter Monday so we do not wilt. It used to be done with a bucket of water. Nowadays it is usually just spraying some cheap cologne after saying a cringy poem. We still hate it. Imagine having 4-5 male relatives and friends attacking you with different scents of bad cologne. I would bet my ass it is the remnant of some forgotten pagan fertility rite. Slovakia. Hungary does this too. Poland also. However, it's mainly water and you can splash the boys and men too. One of the best memories I have got is driving back home from Easter break soaking wet. I have run out of dry clothes after water fighting with a bunch of kids and my cousins on that day. Every time I have changed they would throw buckets of water on me. Adults gave up on us eventually. Good old days. On Yom Kippur. From evening to the following evening. No one drives motor vehicles throughout 90 of the country. For that period, the roads belong to children bicycling and skating. Often kids aged 12 and higher use the opportunity to cycle to neighboring cities. At how on Passover everything that has leaven anything is covered in stores with a cloth, hidden away in a locked room pantry, and possibly technically sold and bought again after a week from someone who does not touch it. When you go to the sauna you are supposed to get a bundle of these birch twigs and hit yourself and others with them in the steamy sauna. It is a purifying act and helps the blood circulation, but it is something foreigners often find strange. Also, cutting a hole into the ice in the middle of winter and going ice swimming. People are sometimes surprised to hear that doing this does not kill you. It already baffles me that somebody will do it free of will. The not dying part is a bonus. You do not do it as much for the icy swim as you do it for the feeling you get when you jump out of the icy water. It is followed by half an hour of pure adrenaline and pure energy and a good dopamine kick. After you settle down, you feel very calm, clear-headed, and all your muscles relax. I think people just get hooked on that feeling. Ah, yes. The classic "it feels so good when you stop" motivation. In New Year's Eve, it is tradition in Spain to eat 12 grapes, one for every 12 bells chimes. It is supposed to bring good luck for the new year. We have that in Mexico as well. Although here is one grape per month. Yeah, that's the idea in Spain. We have a countdown from 12 to 0. The countdown is done by a huge bell in Madrid, Spain's capital. We all watch it from home on TV, and some people go to watch it live. I believe it is like one chime every 2 threes. Every time it chimes you have to eat a grape. Each of the chimes represents a month of good luck for the year to come. One of my friends did not eat his at the end of 2019 because he does not like the seeds. I'm not saying 2020 was his fault, but Hollyware one day before we make a giant campfire and throw coconuts in it, and then the next day we all throw colors at each other. Sounds fun. It does until you have scrub your skin off to get rid of the colors after. Midsummer, a Swedish thing. Basically we Swedes dress up a cross-sortie with leaves and other things. Hang 2 rings made from whatever is green leaves, grass and flowers at each side of the longitudinal part of the cross-sortie. And now it looks like a DCK. Now what does a group of Swedes do with the midsummer star and the giant DCK looking thing? We dance around it, of course, and sing about washing our clothes and the small little frogs, while wearing wreath on our heads. And then we eat pretty much the same thing we do on Easter and Christmas, and there is generally a shit ton of alcohol involved. Midsummer was and is meant to celebrate fertility. That is why the whole DCK. Edit, the last part was what I was taught in 5th grade by the school nurse at the super awkward talk about puberty. She even brought a book to ruin midsummer for us. I did not see that connection before, and if it is incorrect or a myth as some Redditor claimed, then that is the Swedish school system for you. In England we have a similar Irish tradition, though it is quite rare now. We have a maypole, which is basically a big wooden pole, sometimes decorated with flowers and greenery. Long ribbons are attached to the top and people hold the bottom as they dance around the maypole, which means that the pole gets wrapped with ribbons as you dance. It normally happens on May Day, which is a public holiday on the 1st of May. People still do this. I know you said rare, but I had thought that was like a historical thing. Didn't he know May Day was a public holiday either? Cool. I remember doing it around 10 years ago. Have not seen anyone doing it since then though. At Easter we build a big pile of wooden branches and then set it on fire in the evening. Groundhog's Day. I used to live near Punxsutawney. The town is a massive homage to a pampered rodent. I just cannot wrap my head around why the entire country should give a shit about whether a rodent in Pennsylvania thinks it is spring yet or not. I live 500 miles north. It does not start getting warm until April half the time. Of course there is 6 more weeks of winter after the beginning of February. Yes, not even right most of the time. We have a grand tradition where we do not form governments. We just keep having the same election results over and over every 12 months. Next celebration is this Tuesday. Israel. Yup, I was thinking Russia. Pouring hot maple syrup on snow then eating it. Canadian. True North. Norway, teenagers graduating high school have a unique celebration called the Russ period, where they wear special clothes, get drunk, do pranks and just party for several weeks before final exams. You made it sound so innocent. It is common to spend the price of a small car on this celebration. A group of people buy a bus, completely rebuild it externally and internally, think limo in size of a bus, add a high-end sound system, and then spend weeks driving around and celebrating. Everything culminating with a festival on a hike near Oslo's TV tower, showing off the buses and getting even more drunk. But then, every parent has been through this, so nobody is ever going to even think of moderating it. My impression is that every New Year brings even more excess into it. But, to be honest, not all kids choose to participate. Yeah. And thankfully, not everyone buys a bus or van. I would personally never have thought to ask my parents to pitch in for that. LOL. We had a lovely Rus period without. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for more videos.